Well, good morrow to you and your good selves. Today I've got a Benu Talisman Tiger's Eye to show you, which Bill, my pelican friend, is very kindly holding. Um, this is the Tiger's Eye finish of the Benu Talisman. I was not hesitant. I wasn't sure whether the talisman size would suit me. But I have come around to it very massively, and I will go into bits and bobs with that. Let's take a quick tour of the pen, and then I'll do my usual thing of wanging on uncontrollably about lots of stuff you don't care about. Okay, so we've got the Benu logo on the cap band there. So there's very interesting faceted design on the talisman, so it's not like regular all the way down, so you've got kind of one there, and then it kind of skips to there, and then skips to there, and I like that. It can show off the finish really well, and it's a little bit different. Obviously with Benu you get very interesting finish, but I really like this. I really like the tones of kind of orange into gold against the black with the gold sparkle. I think that's really lovely. You got a little kind of dimple on the top, on the bottom finial there. I don't know if you can see it. Just kind of dimples inwards, as opposed to the more domed cap finial, the glitter. Clip is nice and slightly spring loaded, so you can push that up if you are looking to get that into a shirt pocket, which is nice. Screw cap unscrews in 1, half, 3/4, 2, 2, 2 1/4. So I don't know, maybe a quarter turn more than I'd like. Just over 1, 2, yeah. But not annoyingly so. You like under 2, I suppose. I do, but doesn't make it a deal breaker for me. To reveal section, which is patterned or certainly coloured the same as the pattern on the barrel, which is nice. Again, that kind of nice deep orangey with a bit of glitter in there, orangey gold. To reveal. Well, if I'd have said it when I took the cap off, it would have revealed a Schmidt nib, steel nib, medium in this case, with plastic feed. Cartridge, number 6 size nib, sorry. Cartridge converter pen. Comes with converter included, Schmidt converter. Standard friction fit converter there. Nice threads on the barrel too. No, there's no O-ring for closure there, but it's plastic on plastic, and I've never had that come loose. Good fit in the hand for a lot of people, including myself, as it turns out. It is a little bit thinner in the section than perhaps my personal ideal, but that is not to say I don't find it comfortable. I think that was the thing, because I've got a couple of Euphorias from Benu, and they're bigger pens, so I did actually pick one of these up and try it a few pen shows ago, and I wasn't sure enough to buy it. But then I did pick one up at the last London pen show I went to. Got one from Derek of Stonecott Fine Writing, and I'll go into that a little bit when I go into my wanging on portion. But it is a mesmerising pattern. I really like it. Look, there's many eclectic patterns from Benu in Talisman or Euphoria or whatever model they do. There's many sparkly patterns, which once upon a time I was like, whoa, that's a bit too much even for me. But no. I've bought into it. I'm there with the Benu. I'm down with it, man. So yeah, Schmidt nibs available in fine, medium, broad, I believe. Don't know if they do an extra fine. Don't think so. Schmidt nib quality is generally very good. They they were the kind of forgotten German nib for a while because you kind of get Bock or Jovo as stock on a lot of pens. I really like Schmidt nibs. They tend to, I don't know if they actually are longer or not, or whether they're just seated a little bit differently. They tend to look a little bit longer in the protrusion from the section, and the quality of the nibs is very consistent in my experience. I think I've had one which was marginally scratchy, and that's the worst Schmidt experience I've had. You may notice the feed is slightly just off center of the nib there. That's actually my fault because I was trying to pull it to, doesn't matter, but I've straightened it up a little bit. It still writes fine. It's just, if you noticed, that was me on this particular occasion. So measurements of this pen are, so capped, you got 1 through 8.6, 1 through 1.1, uncapped and posted 165. So it does post, not very deeply. Securely, and you do have to give it a bit of a wedge on there. You don't have to go nuts. I wouldn't worry about breaking the cap band too much. You don't have to put a hydraulic force on it or anything, but it's not that deep, so that does lengthen it quite a lot. I wouldn't post that. I'm not a poster anyway, but I wouldn't post that. There are pens that I feel comfortable posting. That's just, I don't know. Plus, it protrudes quite a lot off the barrel there, so that you get that lip on your hand there. I don't find that particularly comfortable, but that's just me. Yes, so posted does put a bit of length on it. Weight, there's ink in it, so give or take a bit, but capped 20.6, uncapped 12.9, cap on its own 7.7, barrel down here about 13.7, and then all the way up here tapering down to 11.2, obviously over those facets and stuff, steady taper down. Section, $10.8 up here by the threads, and then 10.1 just before that nice little flare out down at the nib. Nice and comfy. As I say, just for me, ever so slightly thinner than my ideal, but perfectly comfortable. I am changeable, you know. So, what was I going to say? I was going to get a Euphoria on hand just to talk about a couple of comparison bits. I'm just going to move Bill out of the way there. So just to compare with a Euphoria, Euphoria is obviously a bigger pen, and you've got like the lined up facets as opposed to the irregular ones. Also, generally speaking, you've got like the black cap band on Euphoria models. Not all, but most have the black cap band. It does kind of break up the pattern. Some people don't like that. I'd say I'm indifferent at best for that. I have done a review on this particular pen, by the way, the Tropical Voyage Euphoria, which I will try and remember to link in the description. But yeah, I mean, so with the size of these, obviously it's a bigger pen, and I find them really comfy. And I was a bit worried that I just wouldn't find this to my size liking on a day-to-day basis. However, although the section's just ever so slightly longer perhaps, or maybe not actually. Nope, they look pretty similar. The sections are actually very, very similar, if not the same in girth and length. But they're close enough that I can't tell a visual difference. So as far as the grip goes, it's actually pretty much the same. You've obviously just then got perhaps a girthier bit of pen in your hand there. But I actually find that certainly for day-to-day, bit of journaling or something, this is a really handy size. This is long, and I do like bigger pens, but perhaps, I don't know, for quick jotting and stuff, or swift journaling. This, you know, it's going to depend where you're doing it, I suppose. But yeah, just a little bit of nonsense to be aware of. But yeah, I found I did look at these a couple of pen shows ago at Derek's stand. Basically, I every London pen show I go to, I buy a Benu from Derek, which has kind of become a little tradition of mine, because my first pen show I bought a Benu from Derek. It was more subdued, and I've slowly bought more and more into the Benu Sparkle. And yeah, I had those reservations about the size. And last pen show, I tried it again, and I was warming to it. And funnily enough, at the end of the day, because I had a Lamy 2000 that I was going to move on, because I wasn't using it. And Derek said to me, "Oh, I miss my Lamy 2000." And I said, "Well, I'm sure we can come to some sort of arrangement." And we did. And here's so price-wise, around about the £100 mark for the Talisman model. It's going to give or take a bit. It might be 110, 120, wherever different places you get it. Around about the £100 mark. I don't think that's unreasonable. I think you've obviously got a lot of work in the finish. They're well put together pens. It's a small company now based out of, I want to say, Armenia. I could be wrong with that. Someone correct me if I'm wrong, but they moved out of Russia at the onset of the Ukraine troubles, should we say, which look is nice ethics, which if you care about that sort of thing, that's that they actually upped and moved out and moved their business and everything in light of that, which is good. So it's a small business. It's nice to support small business. Obviously, they're growing in popularity and have been for a couple of years, so really good to support that. But I don't think it's an unreasonable price. The Euphorias aren't much more. I think they're maybe £10-20 more. Bigger size, fair enough. Sorry, talking about this one. Let's look at a comparison and do a writing sample. So a few random pens that were knocking around near me for some size comparisons. So you've got a Wingsung 630 there for the Mont Blanc 149 kind of size. Jinhao 1919, which is the bit girthier one. Aforementioned Benu Euphoria. Twisby Diamond 580. I'd usually use an Eco for kind of comparison, but my daughter's nicked it, so there you go. Delta Dolce Vita mid-size and a 1911 large from Sailor. So it's on the kind of, I don't know, it's not shorter. I suppose I think of it as shorter because I tend to usually be about this length. But your more standard size, not the biggest pen, not the smallest pen. Okie dokie, let's see how it writes. So, writing sample shall be on Clairefontaine, 90 GSM paper, probably ill-focused and in very bad handwriting. But the important thing is we see what the pen writes like. So, here we have Benu Talisman, Tiger's Eye, there is a medium steel Schmidt nib, number 6 size. Ink today is, what is it? It is Diamine. Honey Burst. Incidentally, not used this ink for a while and I am liking it. I had it in my head that it was a bit too light for me in that kind of orangey, honey kind of area. But I'm liking it in this. Had Robert Oster whiskey in this as well, which is a good one. Anyway, very nice nib on this. As I mentioned, I have good experiences with Schmidt nibs, and this is no exception. It's very smooth, really good flow through this. Let's just try it quickly. No problem keeping up there at all. So for wetness, it's pretty wet. It is, I mean, you could probably see it as I was doing the writing sample there. You do get, if you were to put a nice shading ink in this, I mean, look, there's stock Schmidt nibs, so not everyone's going to be exactly the same, but I do find that they have good flow, and you do get nibs on the wetter side, but it's very smooth. Not a lot of feedback in there at all, just a tiny weeny bit perhaps, but it's really smooth, glides over your paper, and does put down a nice bit of ink. Line variation, so you've got your standard medium line. You can push it up a little bit. Mostly you're just going to put a bit more ink down there. Pretty stiff. You can get a tiny weeny bit out of there maybe, but mostly just wetter. But yeah, very, very nice flow out of this Schmidt nib. Yeah, so I really, really like this, and to be honest, I think I will probably put this in, see if it's better focus. I think I would probably pick up more talismans before I would pick up more Euphorias. I do like the Euphorias, don't get me wrong, but I actually find this drops a lot more naturally into my hand. It's just maybe the Euphoria is actually a little bit too long for me for whatever reason. Just for, I don't know, for everyday jotting. I like to, if I'm sitting there copying out or something for relaxation, no pen is too big because I'm just sitting there, you know, at my desk, and that's fine. That's perfectly comfortable. But the other thing I like, by the way, is the section matching the thing. I'm not too bothered by the cap band being black. In an ideal world, I think I'd like it with the same pattern, but I do like the section and the threads even that follow on the same pattern there, like that. Again, that's going to differ from finish to finish, but there you go. Love the Schmidt nib. Really like the size. Cartridge converter, I like a cartridge converter. I've discovered that I really dislike cleaning pistons. I'd prefer a vac. I prefer cleaning vacs than pistons, actually. Pistons really annoy me to clean out. It's just me, personal taste. So I'm always happy with a cartridge converter. But yeah, good build quality and all the things I've already mentioned. Really like that pen. So if you like the bit of sparkle, the Benu Sparkle, you're not sure? Take a plunge. I don't think you'd be disappointed. Hope you enjoyed this. Take it easy. See you next time.